Hello everyone, my name is Jose Rivera and I'm going to be speaking to you about choosing and using and consumer power tools. Stanley Black & Decker versus Tektronix Industries. So who are these two brands? They are conglomerate companies that make up the two largest leaders in this space. Stanley Black & Decker, founded in 1843, and their hero kind of brand is DeWalt Power Tools. It was launched in 1994, and they took on a lot of government work, a lot of development, and they became the market share leader in the United States, holding an immense 80% of the market. If you really think about how much that means, it's having 8 out of every 10 companies that do construction. Their trademark was DeWalt Built Tough. They launched brands like DeWalt Brushless, XR, and XR FlexVolt under the DeWalt umbrella. The other company is Tektronix Industries, which was founded in 1985. They're the most comprehensive cordless portfolio launched in the 2000s, and they still possess that till this day. They are the current market share leaders with about 54% of the market, and that's due to a lot of new entrants into the space and the advancement of technology. Their trademark is building strong, trusted relationships, and they have their brand portfolio consists of Ryobi, Rigid, and Milwaukee. So their brand image, how do they both manage it? What they stand for is basically their image, their targets, and their traits. How do they go to business with these? What DeWalt does is they stand for toughness. They stand for the professionals, and they build their traits off of the legacy of their brand. And they use that in the homeowner sector, in the contractor sector, and they use that also in the tradesman sector. Ryobi, on the other hand, is their brand image is basically empowering homeowners, right? They're the most versatile brand out, and they basically have about 200 solutions on one battery platform. Rigid, on the other hand, markets their brand image as durable, and they market to the professional with a large focus on dependability. Milwaukee is known for innovation. They literally target the skilled tradesmen, your electricians, your plumbers, your mechanical workers. And what they do is they're basically end user focused. They are laser focused on providing solutions to the skilled tradesmen. So now, what is the consumer perception? If the brand image is something, the consumer perception must follow, right? So what do the consumers think? When we're looking at homeowners, general contractors, and skilled tradesmen, they look at DeWalt, and they look at DeWalt Brushless, DeWalt XR, and DeWalt XR FlexVolt. And they don't really know which brand segments to them. So they're very, very confused. They don't understand what they should buy. And a lot of them, unless they're doing this for a career, find themselves very confused. What Tektronix Industries has been able to do is segment their brands based on their target market. So for the homeowner, they created Ryobi. For the general contractor, they created Rigid. And for the skilled tradesman, they created Milwaukee. Different colors, different brands, different purposes. And that has allowed them to really hone in on the end user and really corner everyone else in this market and be market share leaders. So now, how do they do that? They must have a message that supports that brand image and the customer perception. So what Ryobi, Rigid, and Milwaukee do is that they basically create user-relevant content. Ryobi, being your homeowner, they do a lot of instructionals, a lot of DIY, do-it-yourself kind of videos. And Rigid, they usually get large contractors that are influencers, and they outfit them with the tools, and they basically do reviews. What Milwaukee does is they partner with the organizations, with the unions, with the general contracting associations, and they basically support them on that side of the spectrum. What Ryobi and Rigid have done also to get closer to the general contractor who's doing everything and to the homeowner is that they've become the proprietary brands of Home Depot. They also really focus on service and support. Each one has their own service hubs across the US. And basically, Milwaukee does everything online or through their counters with their 19 service branches across the US. So what does that bring to the consumer? That must bring some brand value and equity, right? What supports what the consumer is going to purchase and their use? How do they travel along the decision-making process of choosing and using? They know they have a need. They search for product information. They make the evaluation and they make their purchase. But then after that, what support do they get from that brand to standardize and stay within that platform? DeWalt is known for their toughness, but their sales force is really non-existent. They don't have a retail sales force, while Ryobi and Rigid solely focus on that. And Milwaukee also has an outside sales force with a job site team. On their customer support branch, everyone across the board does a good job. But on the breadth of line, Ryobi, Rigid, and Milwaukee boast much more solutions than DeWalt for the end user. They understand that once a product is purchased, it will need service eventually. And Ryobi gives you a 5-year warranty. Rigid gives you a lifetime warranty. And Milwaukee also does 5 years, while DeWalt is still lacking on that aspect of the spectrum with 3 years. As far as standardization, meaning that you go into one battery platform and you stay there, and since you have that battery, you have to come back to that platform. DeWalt has 6 platforms, which often confuse consumers, while Ryobi, Rigid, and Milwaukee have one platform for about the last 20 years, I would want to say since the 2000s. And when you look at the competitive landscape, by segmenting their brands to their end users, Milwaukee gives you a good, better, best approach, right? Whoever you are on the market, whatever tool you're looking for, if you just want it to do the job, you can go with Ryobi. That's going to be your good. A step up above that is going to be Rigid, which is going to be your better, and then Milwaukee is going to be your best. That allows the end user to know where they fit in to the solutions, while DeWalt is all over the place. And TTI really prices effectively and markets effectively to support that good, better, best approach. One thing that really captured everyone in the power tool market was both of these companies' COVID-19 response. One being non-existent by Stanley Black & Decker, who chose to shut down their service network. So no tools were getting fixed, no tools were getting repaired. They furloughed their entire sales force, and they temporarily paused supply chain to distribution, basically locking out their customers from all aspects of sales, support, and service. This was treacherous. As states locked down, governors understood that essential work was going to continue. TTI, on the other hand, placed their sales teams on a temporary remote status. They instituted widespread COVID-19 protocols among their entire organization, and they even collaborated with the CDC to prepare a ready guide for workers conscious of COVID and how tools should be handled on a job site so that there's no cross-contamination or cross-infection. And they supported distribution by extended grace period and so on and so forth. So the result of this basically roll into TTI's agility gave them the results. Home Depot, one of their largest partners, reported the largest quarter of TTI products sold in Home Depot's history. Between the months of May and July, Home Depot grew 23% in power tools, a lot of that being a result of TTI's growth. Milwaukee posted their largest month in company history with a comp percentage of 325%. And what they ended up doing was that they took the balance theory and they said Milwaukee was at the top, right? Milwaukee was the tool we needed. The negative of that aspect was COVID. So what they did is that they prepared their workforce, they prepared their consumers to be educated on how they would stay safe. And they even came up with a really fresh perspective. They created a hashtag, which was hashtag Together We Stand. And it trended all over the construction industry through all of the labor unions and all of the organizations. So it was a lot of success. And I think a lot of that was in result to being agile and understanding their consumer. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all of you listening in. And I want to leave you with one message that was said by our CEO, Joseph Gatli. He basically told us before we were going back into the field, he said, I need you to remember that we are not in the power tool business. We're in the business of people. And that's what's made us successful to this point. Thank you and have a great day.